All right. Hi, Drew. Thank you for joining me today.
Hello.
So I just want to get an idea of, um, how you came to know Phara and how you came to get started on the Metabolic Reset program with her.
I got a new primary care physician, Dr. Gottfried, just for a yearly physical, and his office recommended that I go to her for just nutritional advice.
Was there any particular reason that it was recommended to you?
Because I was 300 pounds and trying to lose weight. I told him I wanted to lose weight, so that's kind of how it started.
Okay. And had you ever seen a nutritionist before, or a dietitian, I should say?
No,
No. Had you tried to lose weight before on your own?
yes,
Yeah.
and yeah, not recently, but a few years ago, I did, and it wasn't sustainable because just fad diet type stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and so when you first met with Farah, what was your first impression when she described the metabolic reset program to you?
That it was completely a doable program.
Mhm.
Just it's not tedious as far as measuring and counting, and I mean you keep track, but you're not count. I wasn't counting anything. Really, the only thing I measured was the protein uh, each meal. But it was doable, and the intermittent fasting is a totally sustainable thing for the rest of my life. Like I don't struggle with that. Really, the whole problem, like again, I started January 23rd. Um, I've never had a struggle. You know what I mean? That it's going out is an adjustment when you go out with in the world. To it's an adjustment, but it's totally still doable.
Nice. Were you dealing with any particular health concerns, once you met with your primary care, high cholesterol, blood pressure?
He was some of the cholesterol was a little high. Blood pressure was I'm not wasn't on blood pressure meds, but he said was getting a little high. Um, I have gout issues, or I've had gout issues in the past, and he was working on all that with medication and just diet. It
Hmm.
was his suggestion.
Good. And so, as for anyone who's watching this video, as you can see, Drew is a police officer, and so he's in his cruiser, tuning in today, and he often would tune in for the group sessions too. So, anybody who's concerned about, making sure that they can tune into the group sessions, you can make it work, and Drew is proof of that. So, and we appreciate your dedication and your participation as well. What did you think of the group sessions?
Um, again, I'm not always able to last for the whole time, but I feel they're good for people who are um, struggling, or people who just reaffirming what you're doing. It's a good outlet. So you definitely in this whole group. Um, Although I personally haven't reached out too much, I feel you're definitely not alone in this whole thing. Like I know that there's Fair's always there. She's a phone call away, a text away. The group is always, I can make it till Wednesday, and everybody's going through the same things. So you just basically, it's not a for me, it's made it so it's like, oh, it's not alone. It's like even though we're not together, it's all like, oh, other people are going through this, and you just it's support. The support helps you knowing that you're not alone. It's not just some battle you're personally just doing.
Absolutely. And if you're able to tune into the group sessions, we always talk about a particular topic. Farah educates us on, food choice and how to make the best selections for yourself, stay away from processed foods and the importance of that and how that ties in with health. And all those things are important. And if you can't make the sessions, she always records them so you can rewatch them if you feel you want to. And I think it's nice just to have that support, that community behind you. Like you said, you can always, like, oh, I can make it till Wednesday. I can ask my questions then. And everybody kind of gives their opinion or, tells their experience too and what they dealt with. So I think that's nice. Um, so, we mentioned intermittent fasting. She also promotes the use of the mushroom coffee. And what did you think about that? Is that something that you do or no?
Yeah, every morning. That was a big one. I used to drink 24-ounce cups of coffee a day, which uh, she let me know is a little too much. So now I do the one mushroom coffee in the morning. If I do drink, excuse me, regular coffee, it's like once a week I'll get a decaf or something. But really, realistically, I haven't. It was more of a habit. It's not like I'm fine. I've adjusted to that fine. So it's working out.
Yeah, I think a lot of these things that we do nutritionally and dietarily are out of habit. It's just like a ritualistic thing, like that you get into and you don't even know why. But then once you make that transition, that adjustment, you're like, oh, it's not that bad. I can totally do that. Um, when you first started the program, you mentioned just like adjustments, but was anything particularly difficult for you, or how did it pan out once you started?
Um, not here's not really, but because why for me, I didn't just jump into it. I researched it, I thought about it, I just kind of committed to I'm gonna do it. So my wife was helpful because she meal preps. So meal prepping is huge.
Mm,
Like on Sundays, we meal prep for the week, and that way, I've a couple times I've gone off the meal, like if we go out, but I know it's there. I know I don't. It's that it takes the issues out of it. The thought. It's like I know what I'm eating for lunch. I know what I'm eating for dinner. All week, it's done. It's taken care of. So meal prepping has made it very easy to just stick with it. Um, and again, my wife's part of that same thing. She's with the support, same thing with the group. It's you're not by yourself. So, most of the days I haven't really struggled with hunger at all. Maybe a couple times out of habit, or boredom. You'd be bored. You're like, I'm hungry, but you're not. You're just bored. But I've stayed within my window. I've stayed, I will say, 95% within what she tells me. I was eating plantains before I was supposed to. Uh, but I haven't eaten any bread. I've cut out sweets and sugar. It's fine. So really just to support being not being alone. It's my wife will be there and the group's there and people just kind of keep you accountable.
I think the biggest thing with any diet or lifestyle change that you're going to make, especially if you have a goal like weight loss, is preparation. So the meal prep thing is huge. Would you agree?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It just
Was
makes
that
it one less thing to worry about.
for sure? And was that something that you were doing prior to working with Phara, meal prepping?
No, I
No.
had in the past I've done it, but we kind of got away from it. But no, and then I find myself just not tracking what you're eating in any kind of way, and just going and getting things that again not eating because you're hungry, just eating because it's there. And I found myself eating too much because, for example, like nobody needs a big giant sub, but that's what you're gonna go get. You know what I mean? And now it just helps with the accountability of here. It's more of a um direct thought rather than an afterthought. Like, here's my meal, here's what it is, and while I'm preparing that one, you can assemble it what to be healthy and what it needs to be, and flavor too. But it doesn't. It's not just just grabbing fast food or just grabbing the wrong things. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so it's definitely easier.
Now I know because my father is a retired state trooper and he would often go long spans of time without eating, or because he was in his cruiser all day, or he was just so busy. So putting that intention behind your meals, that makes a really big difference. And doing the sitting all day and not wanting to feel like so full or like lethargic in your car, that makes a huge difference. So have you noticed anything physically in terms of that since you started her program, and how that helps you with your job and things like that?
Well, for my job, I actually am out of my car a lot, so I know sometimes my window is 10 to 6, but there's a lot of times I don't eat until noon, or later sometimes, and then it's just kind of making myself like, okay, it's time to eat, and then I get done at 2:30. But I take my kids to their events at 5, so usually I'm eating, but my dinner's at like 4:30. So my window is actually kind of small, like probably like 11 to 4:30 or noon to 4:30. Um, but yeah, the being in this job, I've tell all the new people, I said, you sit around, and the patrol guys, they're here for like 11, 12 hours, drive around, and it's 11 hours of just sitting on your in your car, and it could be a minute to just go react where you have to just jump into physical activity. So you have to make sure that you're ready to do that. So the sitting part is definitely a downside. Um, with this, I've also gotten more consistent with the gym. I used to go, but now I go 5 days a week. I'm more on a routine. Because again, as you progress, as I lose weight, it makes you want to do better anyway. You know what I mean? I'm down 53 pounds since I started, and it just wants you to keep going to where it is. I don't really have an end goal. I mean, I kind of do, but because it hasn't been a struggle yet, I'm just gonna keep going to see where I go.
So, for anybody who doesn't know, the metabolic reset, there's a loading phase, there's the release phase, and then there's maintenance. And so, where are you now? You mentioned you
I'm
started on
in
January
I'm in
23rd.
I'm in maintenance. So this week I think I'm maybe down half a pound or something. But she started me on maintenance this week. Well, I'm sorry,
And
last week. Today's Tuesday, last week.
by the way, 53 pounds, that's huge. I'm not even 2 months. That's amazing. Did you ever think that you would get to this point so
No,
quickly?
no. Like when she started, my goal was I was like, well, let's go 250 or 260 because when I tried on my own before, I got down to the 260s and then that was it. So, but reality wise, I was like, in my 6 months, I thought, okay, I'll go from 300 to 250 or 260. But it's only been, like you said, since it's been a month and a half or whatever. So, now she told her let's 220, we'll say we're about halfway because I know you're going to plateau. I know it slows. Um, but again, that's to me, I just keep going and see where it goes.
And not having a goal weight, I think overall it's just health. You just want to feel
That
healthy.
that's really what it is. I don't care about my weight. I care about just well, how you look in clothes and how your stuff fits, but how you feel. I had a lot of inflammation, elbow joints, knee joints, a lot of soreness all the time, and I was uh, popping 4 or 5 Aleve a day, and just in pain. But that's all gone. My wife asked me the other day, "Should you take Aleve anymore?" I said, "I haven't taken it since January."
That's
So
amazing.
the inflammation, apparently diet has something to do with that, Phara says. So,
Yes,
um, but
100%.
the inflammation's it's all gone.
I
So
love that. That's wonderful. That must make you feel good. And it's like just reassurance, right?
yeah, it's validation for that you're doing all this for a reason, and then it's not a diet. It's it's just the new reality.
New lifestyle for sure.
Correct. And that's why it not being a struggle makes it easier. Like if I had a struggle to get to this point, it might think it was harder, but it's really not. And again, it's funny. My 11-year-old says all the time because he's a health nut already, but he's like, "Do you need that?" Like my daughter will say, "Let's go get ice cream," and he'll just go, "Do you need that?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Okay, well, then don't have it." I'm like, "How do you argue with that?" I'm like, "Okay, is that going to make you feel better?" I'm like, "Not really." He's like, "Okay, then why are you doing it?" And then, so again, for me anyway, skipping the sweets and skipping that stuff, really, like you said, it isn't a big deal, and it's just you get in the habit of doing it, and you just think you need to do it. Um, he has a thing where he won't eat ice cream. He doesn't eat sugar. He just chooses not to. So it's funny when he goes to school and they'll have like the Kona Ice Day or whatever, and he'll stand in line because that's what they expect him to do. But he just walks right past us, and everybody's, "Oh, he doesn't eat sugar. Oh, I feel so bad." And it's a weird thing to me to hear parents and teachers and adults, but oh, I feel bad. I go, why? He's choosing to not eat sugar. He doesn't even want it. Well, I mean, he likes it. He says he likes it, but he at 11 he already knows it's no good for him. She's like, why would I do that? And it's just funny the amount of people who think, oh, I feel bad for him. I'm like, well, but why? You know, because he's healthy. I don't get it, but it's just a cultural mindset we have. People want to reward people with cookies and cakes and and if you don't want it, that's the weird thing to me. But like when they say stuff like, "Oh, I feel bad for him," I'm like, I don't. He's fine. It's his choice, you know. But I've kind of understood where he comes from now too. Is like the other day, people offer us stuff, and I'm like, no, I'm good. Oh, I feel bad. You can't have this. I'm like, I don't. It's not that I can't have it. I don't want it. You know, it's don't feel bad for me. I'm good. I'm better. You know, I'm healthier now than I was. So don't feel bad for me at all.
That's amazing. 11 years old.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's different. But
He's different.
yeah, well, again, but part of that's is what has helped me to again part of the support and part of doing that on is keeping on because again, if I had his mindset, you know, at 11 years, an adults don't have his mindset, so I don't know where he gets it from, but yeah, he watches a lot of David Goggins videos, I guess. I don't
Wow.
know, so that's
Wow.
his idol.
He's definitely ahead of the game for sure.
Yeah.
And well, having support at home is very, very helpful. Um, have you noticed, because we always talk about sugar. Sugar is the number one driver of inflammation and weight gain. And so, coming off of more carbohydrate dense foods and sugar, have you noticed like energy being better, like sleep better, anything like that?
Sleep. I'm sleeping better. I used to have, well, I not it wasn't diagnosed, but kind of self-diagnosed insomnia. There'd be nights I just stay up all night for no reason. So, I have been sleeping a lot easier. Actually, you just fall asleep. It's weird, you know, but sleeping better. Energy levels. I don't know. I stay busy, so I used to get the afternoon crash where you're just kind of tired. I guess I don't notice that so much anymore, but I guess I haven't sat there and thought about it. If I attribute it to that, I just kind of thought it was because I'm not as big, and maybe that was caused me the sluggishness. You know what I mean? But just because you asked, yes, I don't see the afternoon, that 2 to 4 hour where you're just like crashing. I don't have that anymore. But I don't know if we can because I'm just staying busier, you know. But
Yeah,
it could be because of sugar. But I know I don't really miss the sugar. I don't miss the sugar.
that's wonderful. I think that sometimes people are fearful that it's going to be so hard and they're going to miss those things. But what would you say to people that are kind of on the fence? Not,
Well, it's kind of like when, like cigarettes. I mean, because it is a drug. Sugar is a drug. And people who, because I used to be a smoker, 100, long time ago. I quit in like '06, and I thought in '06 I would never be able to quit. But now I can't remember even doing it really. Like to me, it's like I don't even remember doing it. So you have to just ask yourself, what's more important, eating a cookie or being healthy?
mm,
And like my 11-year-old says, he goes, you eat that cookie, he goes, you feel great for like 8 seconds. And then as soon as it's gone, you're like, oh, I wish I didn't do that, or that did nothing for me. And it's that silly, simple logic that has really made me a thing where it's like, people, you want a cookie? I'm like, no, I'm good. Because what is it doing for you? And everybody's heard the whole eat to live, don't live to eat type thing. And it's uh, cheesy, but it's true. It's like, you know, your food, like if you're eating a cookie or cake or ice cream or to bring yourself joy, or people stress eat, do like my son say do stress push-ups. He's like, do something that is gonna help you out. If that's all you're doing is using it as a coping mechanism, fine, do something else. I
mm,
do not starve myself. I tell the people, because people have noticed, everybody's noticed, like, oh, you're fading away to nothing. And I said, well, I wouldn't say 250 pounds is nothing. I'm still here, but it's if you're hungry, it's your fault on this because you can eat the vegetables. You can just if you're hungry, it's because you're not meal prepping or you're not preparing the proper way. I don't get hungry. I don't really because I've tried to prepare myself each day is when I'm hungry, I eat. When I'm not hungry, I don't eat type thing and stay within that window. But yeah, the sugars, it's just a choice. I feel better without it type thing than any benefit it would have given me.
I think people don't actually know because they're kind of like on this merry-go-round. They don't know that they don't need the sugar, but you really don't. You can replace it. It's kind of like your body is missing those vitamins and minerals from the veggies. So just once you replace those things, then you can get through it for sure.
Yeah. And there's fruit. I mean, again, oranges and these new the Asian pears, which I've never had, but that's my new favorite thing is uh these I think they're Korean pears or Asian pears.
Mhm.
Uh, but again, you get it from that. So you still
Yeah.
get your little fix, you know.
Yeah.
It's
And
not
we're
over.
really just stripping back your diet, taking away all the processed foods, the sugar, and just it's just real whole foods.
Yeah.
And that's what we're meant to eat, real whole foods, not things that come in packages and that are processed in factories. So since you mentioned it, the fruit, I think that's what's wonderful about this program. We don't restrict, you know, you can still like we're not restricting a whole food group per se, but you can still have fruits,
Minimalism.
vegetables. Yeah. Yeah. And you don't need to count calories or keep track of anything. And I think that's really wonderful. And so do you do the cooking? You said your wife meal preps for you. Do you have any particular
She
recipes that
she
you like?
she meal prep. She the funny part is she meal preps on Sundays. I cook the rest of the week for them. Like I still will make my son a bacon cheeseburger on his gluten free uh, bread that I make. I'll still make my daughter her chicken. I still make wings for them. They are eating healthy, but I still make their meals. I just mine's already prepped, so I don't have to eat it. Or sometimes I'll eat before and then I'll make theirs after because I'm always I have found I'm like I gotta get in my window. I gotta get in by 6, on days off or weekends. Sometimes it'll go a little later. So they're not stressed out about when they're eating. I'll just eat mine, it's already made, and then I'll make them something else. But no, I'm still cooking. Um, I do a lot of chicken, some ground pork stuff, some ground beef stuff. I found like with I eat a ton of mushrooms, peppers, onions, and stuff. Like I'll take ground pork and just a bunch of vegetables to it, different peppers, whatever I got from the farm store or Publix or the grocery store, wherever. Uh, I take more time in the vegetable aisle now to just say, "What is this?" and I'll just grab it because it's something I've never had before. But like I said, if you're hungry, it's your fault. So I thought when she told me I was only going to be 4 ounces of protein, I was like, how could this be? But it's really, it's not that, it has not become that big a deal. Even for what we have, St. Patrick's Day, I made corned beef and cabbage. I just skipped the potatoes. But I had carrots and cabbage and corned beef and it, it's fine. It's fine. Again, you don't it's not I don't concentrate on what I can't have. I guess that's what it is. If you sat there and said I can't eat bread or I can't eat eggs, but that's because apparently I'm allergic to eggs. And I used to eat a dozen eggs, like crazy. Um, but I don't focus on I can't eat eggs. I focus on okay, well, what can I substitute for eggs, or what other thing can I do, and that mindset has helped a lot too. I don't really can't concentrate on what I can't eat. I'm more concentrate on what I can.
Yeah. Just switching, it's a mindset shift coming
Yeah.
from a place of lack. It just draws more attention to it. But when you focus on those things that you can have, then it makes all the difference. Um, so you mentioned 53 pounds down. That's wonderful. Do you see yourself stopping anytime soon? You mentioned this is just going to be your lifestyle now.
Oh well, no, like the intermittent fasting will be for like it's just because it's so easy for me. I know other people could struggle. I might switch the times. I might go 11 to 7. Um, or like we talked about with I talked about, if there's an event like a dinner that's late, so be it. Go eat late. You know, if there's a family brunch or something that goes early, that's fine. That doesn't ruin your whole life. It's just okay. Then the next day, get back onto it. Um, the 4 ounces or 6 ounces is what she's moved me to now of protein. That is, I thought again when she first told me, I thought this is crazy. Like no one can do this. Everybody needs a 20 pound, 20 ounce porterhouse steak. Um, but I've learned that you don't, and I'm fine. Like it's an easy adjustment. So I can see that continuing. But no, I'm kind of seeing that, just gonna keep going. Again, I'm not trying to look like a wayfish or be. I'm not. I still have a body type, and I still know I'll always be because I want to be healthy. You know, what I mean, I don't worry about the weight so much. I worry about the health of it. You know what I mean? Um, I don't go by weight really. I just want to be healthy. Yes, I still have uh, fat to lose, but I don't worry about what weight that'll be. So I just keep working on that.
Um, and that's for anybody listening, that's 2 big meals per day, right? So
Oh yeah,
2 pretty substantial meals per day with the protein, the veggies, the free veggies, bulk up your meals with those free veggies, the fruit too, that's added in there. And like Drew said, if you're hungry, then that's your own fault because there's plenty for you to eat on the program.
correct.
You should not be hungry. And Phara will tell you that. And you mentioned finding out allergic to eggs. So did you do food sensitivity testing with her?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. And that was
Wonderful.
I found out I was allergic, which was hilarious because I talked to her before. I ate a lot of eggs, and then wheat. There's a lot some stuff I'm sensitive to. The
Mhm.
only allergy I think was the eggs was on the allergy part, and then so there was another oil, coconut seed oil, cotton seed oil, some I don't use anyway. Um, but yeah, there was just the other things, a couple. It wasn't really too bad. The intolerances, just the big thing that stood out was eggs, and then some intolerances to wheat. But
And you
again,
kind of weeded those things out naturally because both of those things are not included on the metabolic reset. So,
correct.
um, yeah. So was that something that you were, aware of prior to working with her, food sensitivities and testing
I,
and things like that?
I was aware it existed. My wife is big into that. Uh, it was nothing I had done before.
Mhm.
Um, and again, I didn't know eggs were a big inflammation source,
Mhm.
and again, it must be true because again, I walked around just with sore joints all the time, and it's not a thing anymore. So
Yeah.
again, I don't focus on the fact I can't eat eggs. I just focus on all right, well, what new ways do I make a breakfast, or what new ways do I do this? And
Yeah.
it's not a big deal. I don't focus on what I can't have. I have a lot of options.
Absolutely. What would you say was your favorite or has been your favorite part of the program, if you had to say?
Uh, just lose, that it works. Really, that sounds silly, but just that it works. Um, I
The
told her,
simplicity, right?
yeah. I mean, again, it's just that's one thing about it is I just kind of to myself, and I haven't told anybody this yet. But to myself, I'm like, well, this is just dumb. Why didn't I just do this 10 years ago or 15 years ago? Or like, because again, you're not starving; you're just eating well. I jokingly told Farah the other day that she needs to tell people about her hidden costs to the program. There's a bunch of hidden costs that she doesn't tell you about because I had to go buy all new clothes because uh, my pants didn't fit, my shirts didn't fit, but my dad liked it because I just gave them all to him. But you know, I didn't think about that when we started. I was gonna have to go buy new clothes.
So, anybody listening, you'll have to buy a new wardrobe. That's not included in the cost of the program.
Correct. See, she didn't tell me that. So,
It's not the
and
worst
I,
problem you could have.
well, that's what my wife said too. And she also said, "Don't go crazy because you're not done." And I said,
Mhm.
"That's true." So
Yeah,
I'm not replacing. I'm just piecemeal together as we go along.
there you go.
So,
So what would you say, my last question, to anybody on the fence, unsure, doubting themselves, their ability to complete this program? What would you say to them?
No, literally, you can do it. I mean, if you don't think you can do it by yourself, you're not by yourself. I mean, the group is there, Phara is there, you're there. There there are plenty of avenues where you can just treat it like, and again, I get it. Food is an addiction. Sugar is an addiction. People don't want to say it, but it is. People stress eat. People, I have my sister. I'm trying to get her to kind of come on board too because she could. It would benefit her life. Um, but it's a mentality of you have to just say. I kind of related to when I quit smoking. I had quit a bunch of times. People diet all the time. It doesn't take until you decide I don't want to. I'm tired of living this way, and just make that decision. So, if you ask me, do I feel better now than I did 3 months ago? Absolutely. Don't want to go back to that. No. Have I been struggling? No. It's just the mindset is no. This is what I'm going to do to be successful. This is what I'm going to do. And again, you have the support. And again, and I haven't done this yet, but say I just broke down and I had one day where it all went off the rails. Okay, well then the next day just do better. You can, it's not all or nothing. It's just do it. And like Phara told me about a guy who he went on the program and he drank on the weekends, and so he still lost weight. It just took him longer. So
Mhm.
if you go with that mindset, and I listen to a couple people who say, "Oh, I didn't lose as much," and but it's because again, follow the program, it'll work. If you deviate, it'll still work, just not as effectively, not as efficiently. So again, that's the thing. Is just you just tell yourself what you can have, focus on what you can do, and it's totally doable. It really is. I thought it'd be harder. Um, it's not. I just left a group of people I was with, and they're all, chowing down on what and they all know now already. They're like, oh, they don't even ask or offer because they know I'm going to go eat my food later. But it's not a big deal.
Mm,
It really isn't. If you make it a big deal, it'll be a big deal. If you just tell them it's just food. It's just food. That's all it is. So.
absolutely. Um, is there anything else that you would like to share about your experience or anything else you would like to say about the program
Uh,
and working with Farah?
Nope. I mean, I just think Fair is awesome, and I appreciate you and all the group and everybody supports. But just you can do it. It really you just can't do it. You just say I can do it. Anybody can because again, it's not like someone saying, "Oh, you have to do run 50 miles a day and you have to do this and do all this." None of it's crazy. It's just all right. Eat from this. Here's all the stuff you can't eat. Pick what you want and just do this and just yeah, there's some things you can't have, but again, it's not a diet. It's not a starvation diet where it's just again, someone asked me, like, what's my calories? I mean, I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't if I'm hungry, I eat. If I'm not hungry, I don't eat, and I have no idea how many calories I'm taking in a day. Um, because I don't count that. It's on my list. I can eat it and that's what I'm gonna eat. So
Right.
anybody can do it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for talking with me today and sharing your experience and 53 pounds down in 2 months. Incredible. I look forward to seeing the rest of your success on the program. Thank
All right,
you.
well, thank you. You have a great day yourself.
You too. Take
All right,
care.
all right, bye.